these are kids who have no other place to look. They've got no experience with anything.
No.
Yeah. Say our friend Omar Fateh. I say our friend.
Yes.
The Star Tribune has come vigorously to his defense today. Apparently, there's a national, is it a podcast host or radio personality, Charlie Kirk?
Yes.
Anybody know Charlie Kirk?
Oh,
John loves him. I think you subscribe to his show every day, don't you, John?
Charlie's an idiot. Let's just put it that way. There. Send me the emails. Go ahead.
Apparently, he's been very hard on Omar, warning Americans that Muslims want to take over the government, and he carried on to the point where the Star Tribune thought they needed to intervene and defend Omar, and the mayor of Minneapolis defended Omar and was happy that Omar is able to run in a free society, and on and on and on and on. I hope I've made it clear that I don't give a bleep who he is or what religion he practices. I don't like his ideology.
Right.
Because he's just somebody else with the wrong ideas as far as I'm concerned. But Breitbart has picked up on Omar Fateh and likening him to New York Assemblyman Zohran Mamdani, because Fateh is a self-proclaimed democratic socialist. He's the first Somali American and Muslim to serve in the Minnesota Senate. And, of course, he's running for mayor, and his platform is pro-illegal immigration, anti-police, and anti-Israel. And so Breitbart went on to attempt to alert the public, whoever reads Breitbart, to point out that Fateh is basically all he wants to do is protect our communities from Trump, not letting MPD interact with ICE, whether it's for immigration raid or not. Our residents deserve a mayor that will stand up to Donald Trump and say, no, not in our community. Fateh's campaign also calls for implementing carbon fees approved by the city council. I didn't know that one. Investing in programs to prioritize the transition of the city's vehicle fleet to electric, because that wouldn't cost much.
That'll help.
And expanding alternative public safety initiatives like the Behavioral Crisis Response Team, which provides non-police responses to certain solutions.
Part of that clip that we played on Monday.
Yeah.
Yep, that was his big talking point.
He also wants to raise the city's minimum wage to $20, to which I'll ask the question I've asked for 50 years. Well, why not 40?
Sure.
Why not 50? Why not get it up to that $516 an hour that Walz's law firm charged? Investing in programs that prioritize the transition of the city's vehicle fleet. I did that one. Fateh also pledged to raise the. I was at the $20 an hour, right? By 2028, and proposed lobbying the state to allow Minneapolis to implement a local income tax aimed at higher earners. So he's really covering all his socialist bases here.
Because downtown's already a ghost town. Let's put who's left out of business.
I will lobby the state of Minnesota to allow the city of Minneapolis to institute a local option income tax to ensure the wealthy pay their fair share, which they already do. In 2022, a campaign volunteer for Fateh's primary bid, Muse Mohammed, was convicted of lying to a grand jury during a voter fraud investigation. Mohammed falsely claimed that he had submitted absentee ballots on behalf of 3 voters at their request, but prosecutors presented evidence that the individuals had neither authorized him to do so or knew who he was. And we also learned that Fateh responded to that conviction by saying he was troubled and expressed a continued commitment to organizing and governing to strengthen a fair and free democracy. In March of 2024, Fateh joined other progressive Democrats in casting a protest vote against Biden's Minnesota Super Tuesday primary. He said his uncommitted vote was a warning to the Biden administration over its support for Israel. in the war against Hamas, stating that unless they are to take immediate and dramatic action to stop Israel from continuing the genocide, they cannot expect support from progressives. Some of the uncommitted vote in Minneapolis had been attributed to the city's sizable Somali Muslim population, which has been a key constituency for Fateh. In one promotional video directed at Somali voters, the only English language phrase that Fateh used other than his congressional district was rental assistance program. Here's the problem with socialism. There are enough people in Minneapolis probably wealthy enough to survive it. But it's going to hurt most people.
Everybody else. Yep.
If you're wealthy enough, and I don't know what number that would be, I would say, hundreds of millions of dollars. You can survive the tinkering and the intrusion of these socialists. But if you're not, you're going to suffer no matter how good you think you're doing. Your house will be at risk. Your freedoms are at risk. Your income's at risk. The education of your children's at risk. Where you shop is at risk. How you travel is at risk. These are people intent on bringing the country dramatically backwards. And I don't know how Fry will contend against this guy. I don't have great hopes.
But isn't Fry the anointed one right now? I know that
Not necessarily.
he's learning Somali. He's coming out with Somali speeches to connect.
And the Somalis, many of them having little else to do, will work mightily to bring about the election of Fateh.
Well, 100%.
That's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
And
So what
that's
are you
a
gonna-
small percentage of the Minneapolis population. Of 1% in the state are Somalis. I don't know what the percentage is. Well, most of those in Minneapolis. They could very well bring about the election of this.
They don't
Well, he's
see
a
it that-
communist. Let's face it.
Joe, they don't see it that way.
I know.
How are you going to convince them otherwise?
I'm not. They don't listen to the show.
How is anybody going to convince them otherwise? How come the point you just made is not being made to them? Why do they think that their way will take the country forward in a better fashion?
Because they own the majority of political seats in both towns. Where's the countering voice except morons like me?
Yeah, you're not answering my question.
Yes, I am. There's no one to contend this.
Do you think, though, that they only vote on if it's Fateh, we've got to vote for him, and not
Yes.
Jacob? Really?
Yes.
Yes.
That's pretty shallow.
I would say there's a great deal. I hope I'm not using something nefarious when I say I would suspect there's a great tribe mentality. He's our guy, and we're going to...
Well, it's the same thing with Omar. It's the same mentality, Rook.
Boy, I got another interesting email on Ilhan's daughter being unemployed. The emailer just merely said, wait till she runs for office in Minneapolis.
You guys are talking about this doom and gloom, but you're not offering any solution.
Well,
I mean, we
this-
can sit here and bitch and cry and moan every day for the rest of our lives, but if we don't offer a solution and if everybody doesn't get behind it, we may as well be talking about waxing surfboards. I mean,
Okay, I can break it down for you. I can give you a real-life example.
Please do.
As you know, I've badgered people to run for office, that being a solution, to find more and more GLers who would say, I have to make this sacrifice. I have to run in order to save the city. That's being done in St. Paul with a woman named Carolyn Will. She's running in the 4th Ward. Can you hold, please?
Yeah.
Can you fill in while I get something?
So
She's
we've got a
lived in-
town ball game tonight in Faribault.
She's lived in 4 different wards of St. Paul, according to her bio, and she runs a marketing business in the Twin Cities. I'm not sure what she markets for, but
Do you understand where I'm coming from with this?
I do.
I mean,
But
all we do
the
is...
answer is better candidates can, and unfortunately, they won't get elected.
And these better candidates need to prove to the voting base that there's a better way, and they're not doing that. Go ahead, Joe.
Okay, to further this lesson, you have 4 people running in Ward 4 in St. Paul.
What part of the town is
Ward 4 is much of Mac Groveland, Miriam Park, not Highland, Mac Groveland, Miriam Park, Union Park.
Okay,
I
I
would
got that.
call it the, Rook, Northwest?
Yes.
But here are the candidates, and this will help you understand the problem, Kenny. Chantil Allen, she's never done anything except
that restaurant thing.
fake a racial incident, but she's on the school board, which in and of itself is horribly problematic.
Yeah.
I'll just tell you who's endorsing these candidates.
Okay.
She's endorsed by radical justice advocate Nakima Levy Armstrong, Ward 1 council member Anika Bowie, 4 members of the St. Paul School Board, Stonewall DFL. Okay, so she's rounded up her supporters, and they're all of a family. Molly Coleman, she's the daughter of former mayor Chris Coleman. Mm-hmm. She hasn't done anything yet. I think she went to Harvard and got a law degree. I'm not sure. She's the co-founder of progressive advocacy group, the People's Parity Project. Okay,
I don't know what that is.
she supports more apartments in town. Jesus, and more funding for parks and libraries, and more off-street bike trails.
As if we don't have it. I think we got enough, Mal.
I'm telling you, there's no imagination here. Okay, her endorsements: Mayor Melvin Carter, St. Paul Area Chamber of Commerce, Liuna, Liuna, I don't know what that is.
It's I can look it up.
Sustain St. Paul, Ward 3 Council Member Sarah Jost, Interim Ward 4 Council Member Matt Privratsky, and former Council President Amy Brenmo.
Here's why it's important and why I wanted to look it up, because I wanted to verify. It's a international union laborer.
Okay.
That's what Liuna is.
Then you got Cole Hansen, who we mentioned yesterday. He's the grocery store guy. Let's see who endorses him. Twin Cities Democratic Socialists of America, Ward 6 Council Member Nelsie Yang, and Minneapolis City Council Member Robin Wansley. All right.
Okay.
Carolyn Will, public relations consultant, former activist with Save Our Streets, a group opposed to a new bike trail on Summit. Platform values budget transparency, tree preservation, public safety. In an interview, she said constituent services were more important than any particular ideological legislation. Endorsed by, you ready? Former Ward 7 council member Jane Prince, which is a great endorsement because Jane Prince was the least crazy of all the progressives. Jane Prince has got a head on her shoulders. She's sensible. She's a decent human being. That's it. That's her endorsement. Former Ward 7 council member Jane Prince.
She'll lose, unfortunately.
So this is all rigged. It's all become a machine to keep in power one of these Democratic socialists, whether it be Allen, Coleman, or Hansen. The only thing, I've begged people to get out and work the stump for Carolyn Will. I don't even live in Ward 4, but it would make a difference to the whole city to have a voice of reason on the city council. And I was in touch with a woman who lives in Ward 4, and I said, if you put together a neighborhood group, I'll be glad to come and give you my take on what I think is happening to the city of St. Paul and why it's so important to break the hold that these Democratic socialists have on the city. And she got back to me after a week and she said, I got 2 people interested. Now that
Are you kidding?
That could be because they don't give a bleep to hear anybody talk about it, or they don't give a bleep about me talking about it, or again, it's this horrible, horrible apathy that you'll pay for. You'll pay for someday down the road. You're going to pay for it.
Well, they don't believe that, and you need to convince them of that. Otherwise, we're all going to suffer while they learn this awful lesson.
Okay, you say I need to convince them of that.
Yeah.
Well, I'm volunteering myself to show up anywhere you want to get a little neighborhood gathering together.
When I say
I'm
you-
doing this show. I don't know what more I can do.
I don't necessarily mean you and your shoulders. I mean you, your type, your people.
Our
the
type.
people that you go play golf with, the people that you associate yourself with, those people.
What do you mean, you people?
I think he knows who I mean without naming names.
Right.
They need to get way more active.
Yeah, people need to wake up.
And unfortunately, when it comes from those kind of people, those are the people that these socialist Democrats hate. You are evil. You're Mr. Moneybags. You're driving nice cars. You're going out to eat at really nice places. You're flying off to exotic locations. They think that's untouchable. They think you're the problem. You have to convince them that your lifestyle is possible for them, that they and their poor friends, their dope smoking, staying out late, never taking a shower, dirty ass hippie friends
Who don't
have
work.
potential,
Right.
that they have potential to achieve the top rung of the ladder, and you guys are not doing that. There you go. I'm done.
And again, you're addressing
time.
that. You're addressing that generically.
Generically, not on your shoulders, but your people. I certainly don't
Universal
hang it.
we, Lebowski.
It's the we.
Well, yeah, and I
Universal
guess
we.
I include myself because I feel like I'm still striving for the American dream.
Well,
but-
okay. Here. A kid I used to have, the middle kid I used to have,
Yeah.
Mrs. living in Ward 4 by 2 blocks. She's south of St. Clair.
Okay.
So she and when I thought she worked in Ward 4, lived in Ward 4, and she thought she lived in Ward 4, she was gung ho to begin taking on some of these door knocking chores. And well, then I re-examined the boundaries of Ward 4 and told her, well, you don't live in Ward 4, but I still think you should do it. But that deflated her. Oh, what the hell? I don't live in Ward 4. Well, okay, kid, you're going to rue the day you're not taking this seriously. You should still walk the 2 blocks into Ward 4 and start
Right.
knocking on doors. The only way somebody like a Carolyn Will could win is a tremendous turnout of normal people. A tremendous turnout of mortgage payers who have to be made aware of the dangers of these democratic socialists offering them nothing
Nothing.
in their quality of life. Molly Coleman, God love her, like as I said, Chris Coleman looks like Ronald Reagan compared to the mayors that have compared to Melvin Carter. But she's not done anything. She's not earned her spurs. She hasn't worked. She's
She's part of the machine.
she's part of the, it's in her family. It's a family business.
Right.
And she got the endorsement of the mayor, for God's sakes, which carries weight in St. Paul. It's the only way Carolyn Will's an outsider.
Yeah.
She pays more taxes for the city of St. Paul than any of these other candidates. She's got more invested in the city than any of these other candidates, but she's the outsider because she's not a member of their machinery.
I was looking something up. Did she come from humble beginnings? Did you mention that?
She's from Bemidji. I don't know what as I say, I know her husband. I don't know her that well.
Well, the person I'm in my mind's eye who I see is winning and convincing them is Kendall Qualls. He came from humble beginnings, did he not?
Yes,
Yes.
very humble.
He should be everybody's answer, black, white, other, Republican or Democrat, for somebody who can really achieve good things. If you have the initiative and the ambition, pull yourself up, make something of yourself, do something for us, the state, the country, etc.
All right, here's your problem, Kenny.
And I was just, you go ahead, you speak for me. I know what you're going to say.
Well, that's exactly what the mystery has predisposed people not to think. The mystery is you can't get ahead. This country's unfair. Unless we attack the rich people and spread it around, you have no chance. That's the mystery.
And I that's why I think Kendall needs support from both sides of the aisle. That's what we need to get this state turned around. And now I realize we're talking about the statewide level now and not your city council, but he's who, in my mind's eye, he's who I see.
Absolutely.
But don't you think, though, because we've discussed this in the past, how the whole political world, basically, we're all looking at it going, these people are not people that we identify with.
Yeah.
And to bring that down to the local level, we have to elect those people. I'm not really making sense, but do you know what I mean?
No, yeah. And where are they? And that gets back to Joe saying, I'm begging people to run. I'm begging 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds to run.
And the frustration is with the fact that we're electing people that none of us feel. They're part of that club, and we're not.
Then, John, I'll go back to that old question I ask over and over again. Why are these old-time DFLers falling for this and voting for these socialists when they know better? Is it the anti-Trump?
Yes.
When it is,
yes.
That's an extremely strong part of it. But I also sense, Rook might have a take on this. I sense when I'm out and about in St. Paul all the time. I sense slumped shoulders. Mm-hmm. I sense there's just too many 60-year-old guys with really ugly, long gray ponytails. They've given up.
Beards.
They've given up. No, I mean it. They've given up.
Yeah, well, you just
I love your
described me.
analogies.
Well, you're getting a little deeper now than I think we started this conversation.
Well, let's go deep. Let's go deep.
Let's take a break.
Yeah.
I was going to tell you about the garage door.
You were?
Yeah.
I will.
Sure.
You can.
No, you go right ahead.
Don't get your ponytail caught in the garage door.
Let's go.
I don't have enough hair to have a long, ugly gray
Maybe
ponytail.
that's the problem. You're not convincing enough people.
We could get one of those little sissy ones